The relationship between men and mental health has often been called a silent crisis. On this podcast, we're breaking the silence. Welcome to Mental Health. It's time to talk. Here's your host, Allan Kehler.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. On today's show, we have a man who was involved with a street gang for 12 years. He battled a drug and alcohol addiction for 20 years. We have a man who definitely has a resilient and fighting spirit. You talk about someone who's come full circle and now uses his story to empower others. That is Owen. Owen Pelletier, welcome.
Right on. I love that intro. Beautiful, beautiful. Good evening, everybody. My name is Owen Pelletier. And
we first met just over 1 year ago. We were sharing a stage for Possibilities Recovery Center. Here's what I remember about you. I mean, I love how you speak. I love how you articulate because you make people feel. And what stands out for me is you open up with a story about your childhood. And your childhood's riddled with pain, but we both know that a child will enter into this world pure and innocent. A child just wants to be loved and nurtured, and obviously addiction and neglect will interfere with that basic need.
Absolutely, for sure. We met we shared the stage, and I opened up with the story. I enjoy opening up with the story because it's true. This is my earliest memory. So at age 4, it's a beautiful hot summer day outside. You can hear the children outside playing, laughing, and shrieking with joy. And then I back up a bit, and there's a window. I look around me, and I'm surrounded in a blue bedroom. To the right is an old mattress on the floor. To the left, some toys on the floor. And behind me is a white door. And no matter how many times my older sister and I were in this room, no matter how many times we bang, knock, and yell at this door, there's never any answer. And so I have a toy hammer in my hand, and I'm hammering at this windowsill, and I'm looking at my sister, and I'm telling her, don't worry, I'll get us out. I'll get us out so we can go outside and play and have fun with the other kids. And no matter how many times, I never got us out of that window that day. And there was a lot of days spent in that bedroom, locked, alone, neglected, and abandoned, and not understanding why. I don't remember my parents from that age, from those times. And I don't know if I just blocked it out, but I just don't have any memory from my parents at that age.
And that's the thing. I mean, connection, everything comes down to connection, doesn't it? And when you are unable to form those connections with a caregiver, when you are unable to experience love, then it seems natural that you're going to seek out other ways to find what it is that you need.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely. Are just going to close up and not give out that, right? So, yeah, I wasn't getting that love, that nurturing, that attention that I feel every child deserves to have. I wasn't afforded that. And I ended up finding myself in foster care at 5 years old. And the social workers and the foster parents didn't take the time to explain, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. Nobody explained anything to me. And so I'm in this foster home, and it's foreign. The place is foreign. Even though they're speaking English, the words are foreign and the faces are foreign, and I'm not comprehending what's going on. I didn't know how long I had to stay there, why I was there, had I done something wrong. I just didn't know. So I remember feeling alone and sad a lot, sad. What did I do? Why am I here? Don't understand this.
And so what then does a child do with all of those emotions? Because emotions are energy. And if you are experiencing all those and you don't have a voice and you're learning those 3 rules at an early age, don't talk, don't trust, don't feel, right, where does that leave you?
You close up, you start building resentments is what I did. I was starting to build resentments and low self-esteem. See, I was going to school in this foster home, and there was no other First Nations children at the school. And right away, I was picked out. I was centered out. I was bullied, discriminated against. And I was being called racist names before I knew what these names meant. I didn't know what a wagon burner was. These kids are calling me these names. I'm like, well, what is that? But all I knew for sure was that they were being mean to me. And I didn't understand why. I knew I was different, but, there was nobody really guiding me and helping me through to understand this process. So the self-esteem just starts going low, gradually going low, 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 low. And with that comes those resentments and that anger, and you start acting out. I was getting in fights in school. I wasn't listening to the teachers. And they said, this child has a learning disability. Put him in a special class. Other kids walk by, ha, 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 stupid, right? Oh, there goes the self-esteem. Lower already. Can it go lower? Sure, it can go lower. So that's how I was dealing with it at that time.
And then was that part of the segue, part of the attraction when it came to the gang life, a place where perhaps you felt as though you belonged or there were some basic needs met?
Absolutely. So the first time I found myself in jail, at 12 years old, my auntie was raised, she adopted us back, my little sister and I, and, she was raised in residential schools. So, that mental and emotional connection and that respect, that talking to, that wasn't there. She was giving us what she was taught, which was corporal punishment and the mental and verbal abuse. That didn't work for me. I'm clashing heads with her. I started running away from home. I'm staying out all night. I started smoking, drinking, and doing the drugs with the friends. These things are not free. They cost money. How are we going to get money? 12, 13 years old. We start stealing, start breaking into cars, start stealing car stereos when that was a thing, right? And now, age 13, I'm in handcuffs in jail. And I'm going into jail and I'm scared because I'm 13. I'm just this little guy. But I quickly realized a lot of the guys that were in jail, they were just like me. They were Native, they were young, they were suffering from intergenerational traumas, they've been through neglect and abuse. And so there wasn't a lot of role models, mentors saying, come this way, young man, let me guide you. It was the gangsters with the open arms saying, come here, little homie, here, come here, here's some clothes, here's some money, come hang with us, come chill with us, we'll be here, bro. It's easy for some child to go that way when they don't know anything else and there's nothing else available for them.
Yeah. And I love the way that you depict what happens in the gang life. It comes down to the simple fact that hurt people, doesn't it?
Absolutely, for sure. And I was so unaware of this at the time. Like, I'm young, these things were not explained to me. I had these deep-rooted hurts, pains, and resentments in me that I was unaware of. So I'm acting out and I'm stealing and I'm fighting and I'm being violent to people and I'm using drugs and alcohol as a form of, numbing those pains. And then, just trying to find my way as a lost child.
Yeah, and it makes sense to want to experience a bit of pleasure in exchange for pain. But even when it comes to alcohol, you can only drink so much until your demons learn how to swim. And so at what point did you find that you had to start giving yourself permission to feel? Or at what point did you get to the place where there's got to be something more? I need to find something more than this.
Wow, yeah, no. So unfortunately for me, I was lost in that pain and that lost cycle for many, many years. It was a long time I was lost. Like, those drugs and alcohol get a hold of you, they get their talons in you, they're not letting go. You need help to get that let go. And so, I joined a gang in my early 20s. I was a part of a gang and we were hurting people. I was a drug dealer. I was hurting people that way. I was stealing, going in and out of jail. And I thought it was cool. I thought that was the thing. I thought this is my path. This is what I'm good at, because I was good at it. But it was until I was 34 years old. 34 years old is when, I had so many close calls on my life. I could almost ended up in the ground or in the penitentiary quite a few times. And at some point I was like, I had to step back and be like, whoa, okay, I don't want to be dead. I don't want to be in the penitentiary. I know drugs and alcohol have a massive hold on me. I need help. I was like at my rock bottom, and I said, okay, I need help. What do I got to do? I got to pick up that phone. I got to call a counselor. And I was pretty much in tears begging her, please send me to treatment. Please, I need treatment. I know this is what I need. Otherwise, it's not going to end well.
Well, one of the questions coming from Hard Knock Talks, that's Daniel Hearn. He says, did they offer you any services in jail?
Well, as a teenager, I spent a lot of my time in Dojak, the Paul Dojak Youth Center in Regina. And so I don't feel like there was a lot of services offered there. They did have a counselor. There was a counselor there that I spoke with regularly, and he was passionate about his job at this time. So, he cared, and you could feel that. When someone cares and they're interested, you can feel that and you connect with that. And he wanted the best for me. And, I felt that. But, I still kept on kind of messing up. I'd get out, I'd come back in, I'd get out, and it was just a cycle. And so, and then as an adult, I didn't get sentenced. I was more or less in and out on remand, riding the remand train. And then remand, forget about it, man. You're not getting nothing. You're just an animal in a cage. You're a number, and that's it.
Well, I know, Owen, you say that you did not receive the services that you needed from the correctional center. Rather, you received them from Straight Up. How did that all unfold?
Yeah, so there's quite a story there, but I would say accessing treatment, and then, I went to treatment in 2017 at Cree Nation Treatment Haven. That helped me a lot. I wrote my timeline out, my autobiography, if you will. And she says, you suffer from abandonment and neglect. I'm 34 years old before this light goes on. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. That makes sense. That's what I went through. That's what I'm hurting from. Okay. So now how do I start healing from that? Okay, I got to write mom and dad a letter. I got to forgive them. As a man, I'm maturing. I realized they didn't lose me because they wanted to. They didn't just give me up. They were suffering from their own traumas and their own pains. And that's, those addictions and everything. That's what got in the way. So in 2018, wintertime, Christmas time, I gave up my Christmas and my New Year's to go to Kehler Treatment Center here in Saskatoon. And, before that, I had heard about Straight Up from Cree Nation's Treatment Haven. And at that time, I was talking, I was sharing things with friends because I was listening to motivational speaker. And then my friend says, you sound like a motivational speaker. And I was like, what is she talking, But she planted that seed in my mind. And then I thought, okay, wait a minute. Not from the States. I don't have a mass following, but I'm this gangster from Regina. I think I could use my lived experience to help guide some of these young lost lives out of that into a better life. Whoa, that would give my life meaning and purpose. Whoa, that means all my years in the game were not a waste. Whoa, this is major stuff here, man. So when I came to Calder and Straight Up came there, Father Andre came there and they did a presentation. I was like, whoa, I want to join you guys. I want to be a part of this organization. And he says, sure, these are the conditions. This is how you join. Write your autobio. I wrote my autobiography. 2 weeks later, I was still a client in Calder, but 2 weeks later, I was at Kilburn Hall, which is the Young Offenders Center here in Saskatoon, and I was sharing my story with these guys. And it was so meaningful and powerful because I could see myself sitting in each one of those guys. I was them. And I was like, whoa. I was like, you guys don't have to go that way. I went that way. That's not the way. You guys can go this way. The difference is I'm here to tell you guys, to help you guys to go this way. And that's what Straight Up does. So I feel like me joining Straight Up was just divine design, man. Divine design for sure. It was meant to be.
Meaning and purpose, two very powerful things. And it's interesting because it's almost as though you were training, you were preparing all those years for exactly what it was you were supposed to do, hey?
Yeah, but you don't see it at that time. You often don't see things when they're happening and unfolding until years later, and you have to reflect and be like, whoa, that makes sense. Now I see how this puzzle is coming together now.
Yeah, and for me, there's people who want and there's people who do. You, Owen, are clearly a doer. And I know that at this point, I mean, talk about full circle, and we'll get to that later with your position with Straight Up. But I mean, you have delivered what, over 100 presentations now, and it's fascinating because a lot of people want what you have, but I'm not sure that they're willing to do the work to get to where you are.
Right. Absolutely. So I put in a lot of work. I realized at one point, this is my passion. This is my purpose. This is what makes me feel alive. This is what I want to do. Nobody's going to give it to me on a silver plate. I got to put in this work. I started studying. I started researching. Success leaves those clues. Who's successful at this? Started following them, following those breadcrumbs, so to speak, and putting in the work. And once you do that, and then you start reaping those fruits, you're like, whoa. So I lived in Moose Jaw before I came to Calder. I was in Moose Jaw with my sister and my mom, and I was training myself to be the speaker. And I remember walking in Crescent Park, and there was no one there. And I'm standing at the statue in the middle of the park, and I'm visualizing me talking to crowds of people. I'm visualizing there's no one there. I'm visualizing it though. I'm getting the goosebumps. Like I'm really doing this. People are walking on side, looking at me like I'm on one or something. But I guess I was on a different level at that time because I was really trying to manifest this and make this happen. Like I could see it and I could feel it on a deep personal level.
It's essential in order for us to achieve any kind of recovery, for us to cut ties with those who drag us down and ensure that we start surrounding ourselves with others who lift us up. And that's what I love about you. You have reached out to a lot of people. You exhibit vulnerability, and yeah, you were able to connect and give back in a way that few can. What are some of those key pieces of, I don't know, advice maybe isn't the right word, but strategies or things from your lived experience that you share with youth who you see being where you were?
One thing comes to mind right away, and I feel like a lot of people have a hard time with this, but it's deleting that Facebook with all those toxic people on it. Like, so when I got out of Cree Nations with this dream in my mind, I told the gang, hey guys, I don't want to be in this gang anymore. I want to pursue this life. I want to be a speaker. And they're like, sure, we got you. Same way in, same way out. Boom. I'm battered, I'm bruised, my ego was hurt, but I'm free. And I realized, I can't be associated. I don't want these guys to have access to me anymore. Delete that Facebook. Went without a Facebook for a month because I just felt so low and lost and confused. And, that was a whole process in itself. And I often tell people, if you want that better life, you got to delete that old Facebook and start a new one with positive, healthy, supportive people. And whether they're willing to do that or not, that says a lot, right? You got to be willing to give up who you are at any moment for who you can become.
Well said. And I love the fact that you work towards your healing, because healing is work. And I'm curious, Owen, to you, how would you articulate your own journey or process through healing?
Wow, I think it's a process for sure, like reaching out, asking for help, and utilizing those resources that are for free. I'm all about those free resources. I'm not going out and paying. I don't have money to pay for resources, so I'm utilizing the free resources. They're there. They're out there. My one friend told me the resources are always there, just you weren't looking for them or accessing them properly. So it's giving voice to your pain and saying, I need help with this, I need help with that. And, when I was in Moose Jaw and I was like really vulnerable and I was needing help, I needed something in my life. And I was taking my mom to eat at the Moose Jaw Mission, and they put on the TV screen, they put on scriptures, hey, come to church. And I ended up, hey, I'm going to take these guys up on the software. I got dressed up. I went into church. The guy's like, the prodigal son has returned. I didn't know scripture at that time. I was like, what is this guy talking about? But I have since read scripture and I know the story now. But because I gave voice to my dream before I even went to church, people knew I want to be a speaker. I want to be a speaker. I was training at it. I feel like my dream saved my life. It gave my life purpose and meaning where there was none.
That makes sense. I mean, the way that you're able to connect with people is incredibly unique. Yes, people can read books and they can get their masters. And I know that you are going back to school, which is most admirable, but it's that relatability through your lived experience that totally allows you to connect. What is it been like for you time and time again to be able to share your story and form those connections with others?
Yeah, so again, straight up, I feel like straight up saved my life as well, because even though I had this dream, I heard one of my mentors say, it's good to have a dream for sure, but you need a bridge to make that dream become a reality. And I didn't realize this till afterwards, after I was with straight up for some time. But they've been a major bridge for me to help me to achieve these major goals. I wasn't even planning on going back to school. I'm having a community luncheon at straight up with Andre one day, Father Andre, the founder. He's like, "What do you want to do with your life?" I was like, "I want to be a motivational speaker, man. I know that." He's like, "Yeah, that's cute, but it's not reliable. It's not reliable," he says. "You need something reliable to fall back on. You should go back to school." Having that open mind to receive those gifts, those words of wisdom, I said, "Hey, that's a good idea. Maybe I should." That wasn't on my plate or my plan at that time, but I trusted him. So I enrolled in school. And today, yeah, I'm a successful second-year university student studying Indigenous social work. And I truly believe this is my destined path. I don't want to be a social worker. Let's clear that up right away. Never the plan to be a social worker. The degree, yes. For the opportunities it'll afford me, yes. Please give me that degree. I'm going to earn that degree. And I know these opportunities are going to unfold. And with my dream of being a speaker, and then with this degree, with the opportunities, the doors that'll open, I don't even know, man. This is huge. This is major. So being able to work with straight up an organization that values lived experience. How many organizations value lived experience as a gangster? It's unheard of. My position, my role as a mentor at Straight Up, you need a criminal record to have this job. You can't get this job without a criminal record. Sorry, prerequisite. So I'm just like, whoa, this is major. This is like, I'm learning so much. I'm healing, because we have a lot of programs that we do. We do sharing circle, men's group, addictions group. We do all these programming. And so every time we access these programming, you heal a little bit. The slogan, 10,000 little steps to healing. For sure, that it's not big steps. It's little tiny steps every time to get there. And so with the presentations that they do, that was beautiful, because they helped me. They gave me a live audience to talk to when I didn't have one. And so when I got up and I shared my story for the first time as a Straight Up member, they're like, whoa, that's pretty good for your first time. I was like, well, it is my first time, but it isn't. Because I've been training and practicing for a long time for this. Every time I do a presentation, I get to heal, I get to educate, and I get to grow. A lot of people don't understand. They think I just woke up one day, hey, I want to be a drug addict. I want to be a fucking alcoholic. I want to be a gangster. And no, that's not how it works. There's a whole backstory there. So being able to educate people that way, it's a miracle. It's beautiful.
I feel like this is an appropriate place for a mic drop, my friend. There it is. It's beautiful. I have mad respect for where you are today. You've earned it. You've earned everything. Honestly, Owen, the best is yet to come. You have fought through so much hell, and here you are, and I'm truly so excited to see where you're going to take life.
Me too, for sure. Like sometimes I had to sit back and reflect. So I've been a member of Straight Up for 2.5 years, and 8 months ago was when this job opportunity became available to be a mentor. And I went and applied, and because I was working with them and staying so close with them, and working their conditions of being honest and being humble, a thing that I wasn't taught in the gay life, that was a hard thing for me to learn, and I'm still learning that, how to be humble. But because they seen that effort that I was putting in and that vulnerability, I think is why I got the job. I don't know for sure, but it's just, yeah, I had to sit back and reflect and be like, whoa, I've always wanted to work with people to help them to get out of that lifestyle. And I want to be a speaker. And I get to do both of those things with straight up. And I'm like, I'm living my dream job right now. Don't even have my degree yet. This is major. If I'm already here at this point, just being 2 years in Saskatoon, 2.5 years, how far can I go at 5 years? And I had this discussion with my sister as well. So I used to keep a journal, and I was writing all these journal things, right? And all of a sudden these pages are falling out. I was like, these things want to be read. They want to be heard. I started putting them on my wall. And then we're looking at the wall one day and we're talking. And one of the things said, if you start putting in the work now, in 5 years, you're going to be a multimillionaire or something like that. And I was like, look at where I'm at already. It was like 2 months into this. I was like, imagine where I could be in 5 years. She's since passed away a couple of years ago, but she believed in my dream when no one else did, when no one was there. My family believed in me. My mom is my biggest fan. I'm also a storyteller. And so my mom just loves my story. She just cries, oh my God, I feel that, my biggest fan. And I love it too, because just get right into it. Just
That's awesome, Owen. That's awesome. And I know for you, working with youth is, and you've already alluded to this, but it's something that you're passionate about. I feel as though you say that the two most important things are education and compassion, because man, we can be so quick to judge. And so in what way do you try to use compassion and education with youth?
Yeah, so, with my schooling that I'm doing, I'm learning so much. I know that I was destined to be on this path, to be in this program, because I'm learning so much and I'm healing a lot tremendously. And I'm understanding systemic racism. I'm understanding colonialism. I'm understanding all these intergenerational traumas, how they came to be. I understand how it affects my family past my mom and dad. These are major things. And so I feel like a lot of the youth don't understand these things. They don't know. They just feel like, they're bad, for lack of a better term. They feel like they're bad, but they're not. They were just dealt kind of a shitty card. And so they have to, I think, being aware of it, awareness is key. Once they're aware, then they're able to start making those positive, healthy choices. So me coming in and saying, I lived that life. I was a part of that. I understand that. This is part of my story. And, your story doesn't have to go that way. You can stop and go this way now because of this. So educating them that way, compassion, people can feel that. If you're for real or if you're for fake, people can tell that. We can feel that really quick. There's not enough emphasis given on that.
100%. And I think, and that's one of the things that I love about you. It's the authenticity. It's the relatability. I've seen you on the stage. I've seen you off the stage. We've had coffees together. You are you. And I'm not sure that a lot of people give themselves permission to actually be their authentic self. You talk about the gang life, or when there's that pain, you have to hide behind that proverbial mask. You don't have to do that anymore because you've done the work.
Yeah, I've been there. I've played that game. I don't want to play that game anymore. I'm tired of that. Life is short, man. It's time to get to it and start being genuine. And we can feel that out for sure. So I don't even realize that I'm doing. I don't even realize how I am sometimes. This is just naturally me. I just.
Well, I mean, you're getting some love, even Jacqueline, I hope I said that right. Jacqueline says so proud of you.
Students that I go to, one of my classmates that I go to school with, I met a lot of great people in school. It was amazing because I didn't come in there expecting to make friends. I just came in there trying to get a degree, and all of a sudden I'm healing, I'm making friends, I'm networking, I'm growing. I'm like, whoa, this is divine design. This is meant to be for sure.
Divine design.
Divine design, yeah.
We have Brad Sorosky, another motivational speaker, a man that you know well. Powerful words from powerful men. You two inspire me. Well, for me, right back at you, Brad.
Yeah, for sure, Brad. Awesome. Thanks for your support, brother.
Yeah, it's fascinating. What's next for you? Like, is there something, Owen, right now that you're really trying to get a grasp of, get a hold of to help you get to where it is that you want to be?
I have a few projects in mind. So I was going to attend summer classes. But then I kind of sat back and I was like, wait a minute, I have some personal projects that I want to work on that are meaningful to me. And, I'm trying to grow my name as a speaker. I want to get known. I want to get out there and, like, with the original plan. I want to go talk to the youth in the communities, right? So I've been to about 5 communities on my own, sharing my story, and it's powerful. It's meaningful. I feel that. I was having lunch with Andre one day, and he's like, telling me the story about how he planned to go to every First Nation community in Saskatchewan, and he only made it to half. And then I caught that. I sat back. I said, hey, I want to take up that goal for you, and I want to see it through. Are you okay with that? He said, absolutely. Because he's 84 years old now, right? He's still sharp. He's still getting around, but, So I was like, I'm going to take that on. I'm going to see it through, my friend. And he's like, for sure, do it, for sure. So my plan is to go to every First Nations community and do my personal presentation for them. That's one of my major goals. And that's just step 1 of my business plan, my overall big business plan. Like, I got big dreams and big goals. And sometimes you tell them to people and they can't understand, they can't comprehend. I told it to a counselor and called her, and she laughed. She, as a reaction, and she caught herself, and I said, thank you for that. I needed that. Thank you for that. I needed that. Because she didn't believe in me, but if she could see me now, we're well on the way.
Yeah. Interesting. Good on you. I mean, I'm in your corner cheering you on. I know there's a lot of people who are cheering you on. I fully believe in you. And I love that dream. I have no doubt, Owen, that you will achieve that, being in every First Nations community in Saskatchewan and beyond. And if there are people who are listening who would be interested in bringing you into their community, into their school, wherever, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you, Owen?
Absolutely. So there's my Facebook page. I think that works really well. Owen Pelletier. I have a couple email addresses. I have a YouTube channel, Prestigious Pelletier. That's kind of my stage name, me and my sister came up with that. And I also have my email, Owen Pelletier Straight Up. That's my work email. You can get a hold of me there. There's a few different ways to contact me. But yeah.
Prestigious Pelletier. That's a good stage name. I'm kind of going with Helen Kehler at the moment, so I have a lot of work to do to climb that ladder. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, so me and my sister, she's passed away now, Heidi. We're sitting in the room one day and we're talking, and I'm like, I need a stage name. I'm trying to build this business. I want it to be Pelletier Productions. I think it should have another P. What can we use? We're looking through the dictionary, right? We're looking, I'm saying these words, we're not finding it. All of a sudden we come across, I'm like, prestigious. We wrote, whoa. Whoa. I was like, first of all, I'm like, that's a deep, wicked high name to carry. And then we talked about it for a while. I was like, you know what? If I were to take that on, I wouldn't ever feel like I fully earned it or justified it, but it would be trademarked. And every time I do something good, I work towards it, I'm earning that much closer to earning that name. And like I said, we both agreed upon it. And I said, all right, I'm going to see this through. And she's passed away now. So I kind of feel like, I'm obligated to stay true to that. I know a lot of people hear that and they're like, "Oh, who does this guy think he is? Prestigious?" No, they're taking it the wrong way. That's not how it's intended to be, right? These are big goals for me to work towards, to get better, to grow every day.
It's a beautiful and honorable way to honor your sister. And I just really appreciate the fact that you took the time to share some of your experiences with us tonight, Owen. I totally believe in you. You have my utmost respect, and I can't wait to see what you do with everything that you've been given for gifts.
Thank you, Allan. I really appreciate your friendship. I respect you as a mentor, as a guide. You're doing the things that I want to do as well. And I'm learning from you because, as you said, it took you quite a while to get to where you're at with a lot of mistakes. And then here's you like, here, my friend, here. This is, you don't got to go that way. You can go this way, make it easier. Same thing I'm trying to do. So it's reciprocal, and you give back that way. So it's beautiful. was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Yeah, very grateful for you. Thanks so much again, Owen. You take good care.
All right. Thank you, Allan. Thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Take good care, be well, and yes, keep talking.
Mm-hmm.